before we get started, I think we should actually give a little bit of a showcase of what it is that you do, even if it's
Exactly. We like to start every meeting with a cheers. So it's a bit early maybe by now, but there's always a good time for a cheers, as we like to say at WECHEER. So yes,
right.
Sandra, it's a pleasure to be here, and salud, and it's a pleasure to be with you in this next few minutes for the interview. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So before we get started, maybe give us a little bit of an introduction of what WECHEER is and how you came up with the idea, and a little bit of a background.
Sure. So just as we did it a few seconds ago, WECHEER is all about this. It started as a smart bottle opener. It was an idea of being able to capture the moment a bottle is being opened, the moment a cheers is being created, if you want, in a sense, in the real world. It's understanding who consumed what, where, and when in a very simplistic way, so that if you're a new brewery, if you're a new brand that you want to engage with the consumer in a completely new way beyond the actual physical bottle, you can do it today. Most of the marketing solutions or most of the marketing platforms that exist today are only in the digital sphere. So if you are a brewery or a beverage company doing products in the physical world or the real world as you want, there is no way to engage with them in a direct way. So the whole idea of WECHEER was the first time we are able to digitize a consumption moment and give the experience a new dimension. We focused this year, for the past 12 months, we've been focusing more on the on-premise scene. So in the bars and restaurants, as you can see, it's a bit tough now with the Corona and the COVID situation. Not the luckiest place to be, but I have to say, up till a few weeks ago, this was one of our genius move, because when you think on-premise, there was very few digitization that's been done in scale. And when you think about the waiters or waitresses that's been serving people in the bars, they're one of the least, I would say, engaged touch point. There's a lot of investment on putting banners, on putting advertisement on the TV in a bar, but there's no one basically engaging with these waiter and waitresses in a way that is digitized and in a scalable way. So we were selling this opener for waiters around the world, in Asia and in South America, where they would be earning money. They were earning tips from brands based on the bottles they're opening. So it was one of our first, I would say, entry point into this market, which we leveraged our smart opener through waiters and waitresses to get this data.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a super smart idea, and you're bringing data to where there was none before, right? Essentially giving companies a complete overview. So how has the Corona situation impacted you? You already started, getting into it a little bit, but how has what has changed in the last couple of weeks?
I mean, unfortunately, as you know, like the whole HoReCa industry, or the out of home, it doesn't even exist, the concept now. It's for the safety of everyone. It's a fact. All these measures will have a very big impact on the industry on the short term, and as simple as people are not consuming anymore out of the bar, everyone's consuming at home. Mm-hmm. So the impact, I would say, on the short term is very strong and it's very tough on us. But as any startup, it's the moment to be, and we've been having those chats, the moment to be innovative and to I would say, to flip a challenge into an opportunity. What I would say is we've been getting feedback from we have around 3,000 waiter and waitresses working with us or using WECHEER. So we know all of them are fully waiting the day they're back to the job, so they can use us again. We have a head start. We have a head start in this, which is good. Mm-hmm. We're trying to leverage or stay engaged, supporting these guys and in this next few weeks, because it's going to be very tough on them. They mm-hmm. are seasonal workers. A lot of them, they're relying on this job. They're relying on this tip. So for them, not having this is a tough thing. So what we're trying to position ourselves, at least, is during these tough times, we're still here for you. We're finding new ways to engage with them, try to understand better their job, try to take this opportunity of the next 6 weeks to improve our product. So we're using them as our kind of test researchers, product testers, so that we get live feedback and take advantage to improve it. in this next 6 weeks. So we are up and ready when we all go through this difficult time, and we're ready. We're ready to take back the world one beer at a time.
And I have no doubt in my mind that you will. I mean, you're such an, innovative organization, and you have been really disrupting a market in a really positive way. And like we were talking in our last conversation, there's no doubt in my mind that you can bring a lot of positivity also to this market right now, and maybe also become a great brainstorming partner for some of these organizations that are all going through the same thing, right? So there's a lot that can be done from your perspective, I'm sure.
Correct. It's one of those times, Alessandro, where I think we need to all come in together, and we're trying to leverage our small size or our startup size to help these global organizations to understand what is their need. We have the agility to find quick solutions for them, quick wins, and we're open for that. So we're trying to see how can our resources be of use now on the short term to support all of these big players. But again, as I said, I think what we want to stand out for also is that we were here with all our users. We didn't drop our users. All of them that are going through a bit of a difficult time in this period. We are here beside them. We're trying to find them ways to still earn points, to still earn money or tips if you want during this period. And yeah, we'll all go through it, as you said.
I have no doubt in my mind. Do you have so from your perspective, obviously, you have a large following, you have, employees and all that. Do you have any advice for the other startups out there? Anything that is like essential for you guys that you think is really important?
I mean, I would say now that the difficult part as any startup is how to manage your teams, how to ensure you still have, I would say, high efficiency through your productivity in the next few weeks. The reality, I don't think there's a real answer or real solution. Everyone's I don't have the magic. We're discovering it also. But what I would say, as a startup, we are much better suited than a corporation, because the level of stress that we're going through this 2 weeks, I have to say, is I've never had it. But on going through change, understanding to be adaptive and moving, this is in the DNA of a startup. So I have to admit, I think we have a step ahead from our corporate friends. This is why we're here, to try to help them through this process. So yes, we have the agility to understand, to restructure our teams, to try to maintain productivity, even though that you're not clear where you want to go, but to always to break down the problem into smaller pieces so you can really tackle it day by day, and not go too rigid, so you always have that flexibility. So I think this is what we have, us as a startup, in our DNA, so embrace it. Other than this, I don't have the magic answer, but we've been talk to people. I would say, like we talked, Alessandro, a few weeks ago. You need more advice, and not only advice just for a solution, but I think we're all going through the problem. So bouncing off an idea with another person gives you another perspective, and helps you see maybe something we're not seeing, because we're in so much under pressure. Sometimes we don't see the obvious answer, and having another perspective helps us. Absolutely. So I would say, yeah, that's what I can share.
No, absolutely. And this, the points that you just made are very strong. And, we were talking about this, and, it's something that I see in discussions also with other startups and with other leaders in these difficult times. And I always say, we're being handed lemons, so let's start making lemonade. And this is exactly the opportunity that we're facing. And from your perspective, I think it's an extremely smart move to position yourselves right now as consultant is maybe not the right term, but as an advisor, or maybe as a partner to some of these large organizations and other organizations in general, and also just to co-create and co-collaborate and make it happen again, because there are opportunities out there. We see them popping up left and right. Maybe Correct. As a last question, maybe on a little bit on a light note for the end of this interview, what's the first thing that you will do once this Corona situation has lifted and we can roam the streets freely again?
Many more of those. And next one, I want to be having it with you, actually sitting in a bar in Zurich. That would be definitely the first thing I'm looking forward to be doing. look, in the end, everyone now, many people are asking question, what behavioral change is Corona going to cause on humanity? People are going to change. I don't know. Maybe. I guess something is big going to change. But one thing I know, we human, we are social. We need to go out. We need to interact together. Although I fully support all the digitization, the experiential through digital to keep, but there's nothing like a human touch. There's nothing like the human interaction. And I'm sure people are going to be going out. Now, what we're trying to do, and we had a whole brainstorming today with the team, is what makes what makes it so amazing to meet together in a bar? What are the points in meeting an actual human face to face that makes it so special, and try to focus on those things, see how we can amplify them, make them, those moments are going to be even more cherished, because people realize, wow, from one day to the other you can be stuck at home, so going out, enjoying each other is going to be even more important. So what we want to do, where we want to bring WeCheer in the end, is we want to make sure those moments get even more special when we're all out, when we're all going to be sharing together. So other than having a beer with you, I'm hoping we'll have some great ideas to come. But thanks a lot, Alessandro, for having us in this call.
Karim, I can only say, thank you to you for taking the time, and, keep up the amazing work, and continue to be as awesome as you are. I'm a big fan of you and your team and all the things that you have been doing. And I cannot agree more with you. Once we get out of all of this, people will go out, they will celebrate, and WeCheer is going to be there with them, celebrating with them. And I cannot wait myself to do it. So I look forward to seeing you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.